Hey, this is Chris from EssentialSQL, and if you want to calculate median in SQL, then you're going to want to watch this video, and I'll show you how you can do that. Hey, if you like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, let's get started. So before we get deep into how to calculate median in SQL, let's just talk about what median means, because maybe not everybody is familiar with the term as they would be with, for instance, like average, okay, because it is a little different. So when we talk about the median of a data set in statistics, we're really talking about, in quotes, like the middle value of the data set. So if we were calculating median by hand, there's a couple of things to consider. First of all, if we're looking at like an odd number of observations, or in SQL talk rows, then our exercise is pretty easy, because all we do is we look for odd number rows. We look for literally the middle row. So if I had 9 rows in my sample, I just look for that middle row, which would be row 5. I see what the value is, and that's, if it's ordered, that's my median. So in this case, 5 is my answer. Now it gets a little trickier when you're working with an even number of rows, because, for instance, if you look at my second example here, it's like, all right, I got values 5 and 6, and that's at rows 5 and 6 out of my data set of 10. It's like, okay, where's the middle? There is no middle, because these are actually rows. The middle would be in the magical line. So what do you do here? Well, the idea here is you take the average of the two values. So, or fancy way of saying is you can also interpolate the values. So in this case, we add up 5 and 6 together. We get 11. We divide it by 2, and so our median is 5.5 or 5.5. So you can see here, when even obtain the average of the middle JSON values, get the two values, add them together, and divide by 2. So there's 2 ways to do the median. And what you'll find in SQL a lot of times is people will go through these exercises using a case statement of odd and even rows and producing the result really that way. I want to show you a quick way of doing it today, and I think you're going to find it really cool. So let's jump right into the SQL and talk about that. Okay, for the SQL today, we're going to use Customer Order Summary view from the Pizza Sample database. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with this sample, it really just goes out and gets you the order dates and all the orders for customers. And what I've done here is I've really just rolled up the final order price for each order date into a total sales, and I'm just showing that value by order date. So now our objective is to find out the median of this data set, right? So as you can see, there's 8 rows, so the median's going to lie somewhere in here, right? So let's find out how to do that. And I have a way to do that using one command in SQL, but if you looked up median, it's not going to be like, oh, here's the median command in SQL. It's actually a window function command that we're going to take advantage of, and it's called percentile continuous. And what it does is it allows us to essentially get the percentile rank of a value, and rather than the percentile rank of all the rows, we're going to use what's called a continuous function. So it allows us to do that interpolation that I was talking about when we have the even number of rows cases. So in this case, it will interpolate between these two values, or in other words, add the two values up and divide by 2 for us and give us the median. So let's see how we can do that using a window function. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a derived table from this, because really we want to work off total sales. And so let's do a select star from, and call that D. You'll see what I'm going to be doing here in a second. And now when I do a I forgot that I had a comma there. All right, now everything's good. I always forget sometimes I add an extra comma when I'm working. So what I have here now is a query where I essentially wrapped, and it's my way of saying create a drive table of the date and the total sales. And now we can work with this. And we're going to now find the median of these total sales. So we'll type in the order date. And we'll type in total sales. And then the thing we want to focus on to get the median is this thing called percentile continuous. Actually, let's do it in lowercase. And then you can give it a like what percentile rank, and we want the midpoint, so we're going to use 0.5 because it would be 0 to 1. And then you get, it's a stranger syntax than a normal window function where you would just say over and go with it. So here you say within group, and then I'd say like order by order date, and now I can say I'm going to say order by total sales. I'm sorry. Right, so I'm ordering by these total sales here, and then I'm going to do an over, and the window function over now is saying really this percentile continuous is going to be over the entire data set when you leave over blank. And then we're going to call this median sales. And when I run this, I now get the median sales. And you can see that if I was to take these two values here, that should come out to be the 2.8745 value, and it does. Magic. Okay, so let's revisit this thing again because it is kind of strange. All right, so from the beginning, what I did here is essentially took my base query, which summarized some information from which I wanted to calculate a median. So this internal part's just going out and calculating the total sales. All right, fair enough. From that, I'm selecting the order date and total sales, just like it was like a view or a table. It's called a drive table. And you see that here, right, where I got order date and total sales. Now the magic is that when to calculate the median, we use a new function called percentile continuous. CONT is shorthand for continuous, and we're calculating the percentile rank where we're doing it within a group, and we're going to order that entire group by total sales. Okay, and that makes sense because we want to get the halfway point of the total sales, and then we're doing that over the entire data set, and we want to call that the median sales. So this, in a nutshell, is how you can quickly calculate a median over a data set for a value. If you like this, please tell all your friends about EssentialSQL, because I think they will find that it's very easy for them to learn SQL once they start watching these videos, because I try to obviously explain the stuff in as simple terms as possible. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.